Hello and welcome back to the Cocked Dice. In this week's conversion video, I'm tackling one of the new Hounds of Morkai. Like many people, I was a little disappointed by GW's decision just to stick an upgrade sprue in with the Reavers and call them a new unit. So we're going to do something a little cooler. So let's take a look at the bits we're going to need tonight. Obviously, we're going to need a Reaver body. This is an easy build one, so I'm going to have to do a little more work than normal, but it's a one-off conversion and I didn't have a full box to break into. Now for his chest, I'm going to replace that with this Stormcast, I think they're Vanguard of some sort. It's one of the newer Stormcast units. There's loads of them with kind of fur pelts across their chest, they're really, really useful. A bunch of Space Wolf bits and other stuff I'm going to stick onto him, so we've got some talismans, wolf pelts. I've grabbed this forearm piece from the Wolven kit, I'm firing stuff across there. Knife arm. Now there's loads of Stormcasts with these pendants with kind of runic writing on them. Now it's not quite Nordic runic writing, but it's interesting enough that I think it'll probably play out quite well in a conversion that's supposed to be covered in runes and signals? Runes and sigils, pronounce things properly. The only other major thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out his pistol. So whilst the Reaver pistol is really quite cool, I wanted to make this unit a little bit more unique, and so I've just grabbed a pistol arm. I think this one's from the Dilac kit from Necromunda. It's an auto pistol of some sort, but any sort of projectile weapon will do in this case. There's a whole bunch of really cool weapons in Necromunda kits, so take a look at things like the Orlok Gang or House Van Saar. There's loads of really cool and interesting pistols in there that should pretty much fit in size for 40k Space Marines. So really the first part of tonight's conversion is going to be changing this chest plate out. So the Stormcast chest fits round about over it, so I'm going to take this just underneath here, so I'll essentially cut round here all the way around like that, and then fit this over the top, and then I can shape this and trim it further and just get rid of this main chest plate piece. So I'm going to do this big knife and we're just going to make lots of little cuts. I'm going to try and save the chest piece if I can. So that's the kind of area I want left over. I've managed to save most of the upper chest as well, so I can use that on something else later. Now because I'm changing around the posing a little bit on this, I'm going to have to take this pack off because that's roughly where the knife will sit. If you're using a non-easy build kit, you don't need to do this step, so I'm just going to clip this off because I don't need the pack, and I can clean up underneath it later. And then the only other thing I'm going to do to the main part of the body is I'm going to take this knife off here, because obviously he's going to be drawing his knife in the front and there's no need for two knife holsters on it. Holsters? Is that the right word for a knife thing? Again, I'm just going to clip. I'll take it down there first. Sheath, scabbard I suppose would be the right word for it. So whilst not perfect, that'll do for me, and I'll just cover that area up with some wolfy bits later on. So next job, I'm going to get his body stuck together and on a base. So here's our first look at the body as it's going to be completed. Now as you can see, I've lined up the top of the shoulders here. That's the main bit I want to have lined up. I'll worry about these gaps here later. I mainly want to get these two bits lined up, and you can see we've got a few gaps around here. So we'll have to pack that with green stuff in a little while, but for now I'm going to put him to one side and let him dry, and we'll work on some other bits of model. So we're going to have to do a fairly simple weapon swap here. The only bit I'm going to have to do any messing with is probably around the pistol, because I'm going to need to give him a little bit of space to put the larger Space Marine hand. So to remove the bolt pistol, just cut from the back of the bolt pistol down the arm, down the hand, very gently, like so, and then in front of the pistol grip there, just cut down. I'm going to get my slightly smaller knife in there and just take that corner out. There we go, we've managed to save the bolt pistol, and we've got a nice neat cut around the arm, keeping the pistol finger in position. For his other hand, I'm going to start by taking it straight across here. and just behind the ammo box. Now, because the Marine hand is a little bit bigger, I'm going to have to cut that very slightly further in. So I'm going to take it right up to the ammo box. So once you cut it to shape, just make sure that the pistol arm lines up nicely along the barrel and it doesn't look too out of place. It's a little smaller than the bolt pistol, but I think it looks pretty cool and just gives this guy a slightly different look whilst kind of maintaining the stealth-esque look of the Reaver's kit. So to further mark this guy out as a specialist unit, we're going to replace one of his knee pads with this symbol, which I believe is from Wolven kit, I suspect. So what I'm going to do is take this knee pad here and we're going to trim it down in layers. Just find the top of the circle where it is and we're just going to trim it down like so. And once you've trimmed it down enough, just make sure when you place it in that it aligns well enough with the direction of his leg and his knee and get it as central to the knee as possible. You then need to mix yourself up a small batch of green stuff, and we're going to use this to stuff around all these areas and just generally fill in his body so we've got something to build on, and it gives this piece a little bit more strength. So you've seen me do these before. Just grab a small ball of green stuff, pop it in position and then start working it in. I'll be back in a minute once this is finished. So there we have it, we've filled the area pretty well. Now underneath his chest here, you've got two choices. I've just kind of packed it in and tidied it up as best I can. I've done a fairly quick job. If you're better at sculpting, you could sculpt a little thin layer over here and give it some texture. One important thing is, while the green stuff's still wet, just give a little bit of water on the top here and then just push your Space Marine's head into the slot and make sure it fits. So it's time to build him up a bit and make him look more like a Reaver. So because I'm sticking onto green stuff, we'll use a dab of super glue. But for his knife, I'm going to put a little bit of contact adhesive down there. Contact adhesive, you know what I mean. Polystyrene cement. Just to attach that to his belt. Then for his other arm, again, some green stuff on there, some super glue on the green stuff. Pull it out and then angle the arm to wherever you want it to go. And I'll pop his head on while I'm working on it. Right, next up we're going to give him a new forearm. So this is a forearm from the Wolven kit. I'm just going to glue this. So glue this straight on over his existing arm. No modifications whatsoever. I'm just going to line it up with the wrist guard. Plonk it straight on top there. I'm sure I checked this fitted earlier. It sits over his elbow a little bit. I think that just kind of adds to the coolness and the bulk factor of it. If you want, you can either trim the inside of this down a little bit or trim his elbow down for a slightly neater fit there. Since these little shields are all the rage with the Indominus box, I'm going to grab one of these. Again, I think this one came from the Wolven box, I can't be sure. Just need to trim this back piece down a little bit. Like so. This is going to go over this arm here. In the area at the back where we took off the knife sheath before, I'm just going to drop some poly cement and we'll drop a wolf tail totem in there. And this stormcast part, we're just going to trim at the top here, move that, pop it to one side, and then we'll dab a little glue underneath it and we'll slide this up just underneath his belt here. Create a little more movement and something of interest on that side of him. Now at this point you can simply add as many or as few more Space Wolfy bits to him, but I think we're going to call him done for tonight. If you hang on a moment, there will be a painted video of him coming up right now. Whilst I remember, if you want to support the channel and help pay for all these conversion videos I do, there's a buy me a coffee link in the description below. Please chip in if you can, it'd be great and it really helps out the channel. And thanks for joining us here at the Clock Dice. Why not like this video and add a comment below? It really helps boost the channel. And while you're at it, if you click on the icon below, you can subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates as soon as they're live. Why not check out some of our other videos and playlists? You can click on the ones on screen right now. Take care, and we'll see you next time.